Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III and welcome to the program. And today I'm looking at materialism. And this is in response to a lengthy email and video series that's been requested. And just in wrapping up there, this individual sent me an email saying, personally, I see materialism as a blessing and a curse. You acquire the fruits of your labor, and I have been very lucky in that respect because I know of so many people who work just as hard as me but aren't as fortunate. It is luck. So you earn your income, rightly or wrongly, but then how do you prepare for your own personal next generation to deal with that legacy? Then the next question is obviously, what the hell is luxury anyhow? Is it a relative feeling of being surrounded by lovely things that would have been unimaginable even a generation ago within your same family? Or is it some sort of arbitrary standard of taste and decency that transcends actual personal material status? So then you move into the aesthetic realm. Is it the aesthetic? How do you communicate this? How do you explain the aesthetic to a bunch of nice wristwatch enthusiasts? I think that's the point where your talking and mine could really converge. Although you have yet to discuss the question in an upfront way about the aesthetic, even though I think we share the same frustration, I don't think anyone on YouTube has yet even started to seriously talk about the dichotomy between the material and the aesthetic in the context of watches. Could you do that? Jesus Christ, this is a fucking deep email, isn't it? Materialism, a blessing and a curse. I think that's true. That is true. But I think you really need to have things that you enjoy. It's senseless collecting things for the sake of collecting. And I gotta say, sometimes with materialism itself there, I do agree, it's very much the aesthetics. I do love the aesthetics of beautifully made things, beautifully engineered things. They're just a higher form of art. And I really think myself there, you've got to try and control it yourself. Just because there's many beautiful things in the world doesn't mean you have to own every damn example. You can be very selective in what you do with it. And I think myself, the materialism, a blessing and a curse. Of course it can be a curse when the possessions the possessing and the hoarding overtakes the enjoyment and the admiration of the item. Of course it does. It's a very fine balance. But it's like many things in life. You've got to try and work this out yourself. I mean, you can wear an Omega Speedmaster, but there's a lot of Speedmasters. You can get a very, very early 1950s version. An original one of those with original dial and hands is very, very valuable. Whereas you could have, mine's a 10-year-old example. It's still a beautiful watch with a lot of the key aesthetic points, but you don't have to go so far monetary into this thing. So I think realistically, your standard at which you collect and buy things is determined by your financial position and how you see these things. Now, I really think with materialism itself, of course, anything that you take to an extreme can be a curse. Definitely true. I mean, just because you like classic cars doesn't mean you need each key model. Some people do. Some people do. Some people don't. So I think what is luxury anyhow? I think luxury are things which have an aesthetic quality of quality and design excellence. These are well crafted things, and they really, it's a different thing for different people. Luxury itself, in all honesty, there, we never really own our possessions because we are here for such a short time. Our own mortality, we have a limited time on earth, and the honest answer is that it's very limited and very short. So do we possess these things? I think we have to take the time we've got here, enjoy things that make us happy without over analyzing or over anything on these things. But I would have to say the aesthetic of these things here, the more money you have, the bigger the issues you possibly have if you take it that far. But it really is a matter of enjoying these things at whatever level you want. And I mean, many of us today, because of the world we live in, we're able to afford these things, which generations ago people in your family could never have afforded. Similarly, there are people now who will never get some of these things due to a number of reasons. But I really think the aesthetics of watches themselves is very much the important thing. Design excellence, the aesthetics, the fact that it's something that lasts so long. I mean, watches are a very interesting thing. They're something that marks the passing of time. Men seem to really like these type of possessions. They mark time, and it's an interesting type of equation. What do I think myself? What's the perfect number? Well, that's something you got to work out yourself. I must say, sometimes I've been more happy with my materialism when I've had less, and that does mean a lot to me. So that's my view on these topics here. I'm ArchieLuxury. I wish to discuss more about materialism down the track. Tell me what you think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid.